When you're ready, Robin. Kia koutou katoa ko taimai. Mihi mahana I tēnei pō. No mai haere mai ki Māori Standing Committee or South Wairarapa District Council. Ko Andrea Rutini aho. Welcome online as well. We'll start. It's 6:01, so Maui te karakia timatanga. Does anyone like to start with a karakia for us?
Kia hora te marino, kia whakapapa pauna me te moana. I huarahi mā tātou I te rangi nei, aroha atu, aroha mai. Tātou ia tātou katoa, turi e, ai ki e.
Just some health and safety at the beginning of every meeting, just in case of emergencies. Of course, we know the exits are well signed, and please congregate out in the playground should we need to. And of course, if there in the event we experience any unruly behaviour during the course of the meeting, we will adjourn until it's safe for us to reconvene. And anyone want the wharepaku, they're just down here. And of course, if we get any rocking and rolling, earthquake, drop, cover, hold, and be wary of this here, I would say.
Yeah.
But that's our housekeeping for today. We'll start off with thank you, Violet, for leading us in our karakia today. We're going to accept or any apologies. Any Fitu, Corona. So we've got Fitu, got Leonie online.
Thought he was going to go online.
And
Careful.
there may be others like Dottie that's joining us online according to Violet. Violet. So at this stage, we'll just acknowledge Fitu Corona and Mayor Martin Connolly. I'll move that these apologies be received. Do I have a seconder? Kia ora, Pip. Councillor Maynard, all in favour, please say aye.
Aye.
All those against, please say Carl. The motion is carried. Item 3 on our agenda is conflicts of interest. Are there any conflicts of interest to be declared?
Aye.
Yeah.
South and Karen, because you guys are going to be considering the Paitu Mokai application for funding.
Okay.
And there's a Kohinui application in there.
Okay, noted. Paitu Mokai grant application as well as an application for Kohinui, and also, I mean, I'm the Hiniwaka from Kohinui as well, but not the representative for the marae. So thank you, Violet. And Leonie is representing the marae.
Yeah.
Okay, so we can note those. Thank you, Robin. Item 4 of our agenda is acknowledgement and tributes. Have we got any acknowledgement and tributes? Right.
Smith. Oh, yeah. We didn't acknowledge.
There they
Richard Smith.
Richard Smith.
Yeah, from Featherston.
Yeah.
Māori Battalion.
Yep.
He passed away about 2 weeks
Yeah.
ago.
Always.
Buried at Hudson Cemetery.
Oh yeah, just to acknowledge Richard or Dick Smith as he was known. Also contributed a lot to the community. He was a representative for Te Puni Kōkiri for the Wairarapa as well. I'd just like to acknowledge him and also our other whanaunga that have passed on. We've had a couple of tangi at Papawai, of whānaus as well. So, yeah, just like to pay tribute to them. Kia ora. Now we're going to go straight into public participation. Okay, so first on our agenda we have online is Neil and David from Eastern Central. And we'll hand the time over to you, David, if you can hear us okay, hopefully.
Kia ora, look, we can. Ko e tumuaki o Eastern Central Community Trust, ko David Claverton tako ingoa, no reira, tēnā koutou katoa. Look, it's a real pleasure to be able to be given the opportunity to talk to you today. We did make an attempt to engage in July when we had our meeting down in Martinborough, and one or two of you we did meet down there. But this is an opportunity for us that we're really excited about, because this is part of a new journey that we as Eastern and Central Community Trust are on. So Newmail is based in the southern half of our region, and I'll go through what our region covers in a moment. Newmail is our community advisor. He covers the Horowhenua, Manawatu, Tararua and the Wairarapa regions. So look, I'm very conscious of your time, so I'm going to quickly go through a fairly short presentation. Look, the purpose of today is just to introduce ourselves and just quickly explain just the journey that we're on at the moment, which is quite different to where the Eastern and Central Community Trust have been traversing over the last 30 odd years. So I wonder if someone, if it's not Neil, but someone else can just share the presentation that I sent down.
It was printed and everyone has a copy.
Okay, cool. So I'll quickly go through it.
This is
Which one? That one. Oh, that's the anything.
Okay. So look, headed there is growing, thriving communities, and that's essentially the purpose of our organisation. If we quickly go over to the next page, and this just shows the area that we cover. So we cover from Tairāwhiti, Hawke's Bay, and the 4 provinces that I just alluded to. It's a fairly big geographic area. There's about 430,000 people live in that rohi, and it's probably the one of the biggest geographic areas of all the community trusts that are based in New Zealand. So there's 12 community trusts in Aotearoa, and as at the 31st of March this year, we had around about $228 million in investments. We started off with $95 million back in 1995 when Trust Bank was sold to Westpac, and as the Eastern and Central Community Trust was a shareholder of Trust Bank, that payment that we received as a trust has been put in investments, and we've been able to grow that investment to $228 million as at the 31st of March this year. So what we do from that investment is we take about 4% of that total amount. It's actually slightly less than that because it's 4% on the capital base, and distribute that by way of grants to the 6 provinces that we cover. So last year we distributed about $8.3 million. This year it'll be slightly less than that. Last year we were able to put out a little bit more money by way of grants to those areas that were affected as a result of Cyclone Gabrielle, so largely Tairāwhiti and Hawke's Bay. So over the last 18 months, probably ever since I joined the organisation back in February 2022, we've been moving our organisation from what we call a transactional organisation to a transformational funding organisation. And I'll just take a moment to explain that. What we're trying to do is sort of move away from short-term funding to turn on the lights, to pay the rent, to pay the administration costs or whatever, to providing funding to organisations that are going to make a real long-term sustainable difference in the communities that they support. So I explained before that we have 430,000 people living in our area. We distribute $8 million. Now, per capita, that's the second lowest in the country. So it's only about $17 per capita of funding is distributed to the region that we cover. That compares to Taranaki, which is where the Toy Foundation is based, and they're about $120 per capita. So because of that, we have to think really smart in terms of how we might distribute our funds. And we've made a call to be quite focused in terms of how we might distribute our funds, working with people that are, I suppose, making a real long-term sustainable difference in communities. And I'll just explain how that might work as I progress with the presentation. So if we go over to the next page, and our vision, Tō Mātou Wawata, is to accelerate courageous transformational change that creates vibrant, more sustainable and equitable communities. So there's a couple of key things in there. One is transformational change. The other one is that we want to be courageous in what we do and working with those people that are doing things maybe a little bit differently. And we're here at pace to try and make that impact on the communities that we serve as well. So we've got 5 priority communities and 5 PO are prioritised, and that is included as part of our strategic plan that we adopted back in November 2022. So quickly, if we go over to the next page, and this might be a little bit difficult to read, but we have got 5 priority communities, Māori and Pacifica, people living with diverse abilities. So that's, people that may be disabled or there's some issue in terms of mental health or things like that. Those people that are living rurally or in isolation. So we have identified 3 high deprivation communities that we'd like to support, and that's Tairāwhiti, Northern Hawke's Bay, which is Wairoa, and the Horowhenua. Now that's not to say we don't want to support areas that are in deprivation in the Wairarapa, but we have identified, because we want to focus on certain areas and not try and be all things to all people, we have identified 3 areas that we believe that we can make a difference, largely because of their general deprivation that they've got. So Tamariki and Rangatahi, and communities or individuals facing hardship. So those are our priority communities, and then we've got 5 pillars. Our overall pillar is looking at how we can support the inequities that are in our society, allowing people to be able to enjoy those things that maybe they wouldn't normally be able to for whatever reason. We have made a real intent in terms of supporting organisations or groups or communities that are doing good in their communities around improving the environment. We, up until now, have only distributed about 1% of our grants to environment projects, and we want to change that significantly over the next little while. We are looking at how we can support Māori aspirations under the Te Māori Mai PO. Again, part of the reason why we want to engage with your group and others in the Wairarapa is to understand initially what those aspirations might be, and then to identify how we can maybe support the achievement of some of those aspirations that you might have. And it all comes under that high level umbrella of partnership. One of the things I didn't explain when I first introduced myself, look, I'm rushing this because I'm not quite sure what time I've got, and I don't want to take up too much time.
Yeah, you've got a couple of minutes, David.
Okay, so prior to joining the Eastern Central Community Trust, I was the Chief Executive for the Horowhenua District Council. So I take on board your meeting protocol and all that sort of thing. But I also understand how good partnerships can be developed, and it's my intent to develop good partnerships, whether it's with iwi hapu, whether it's with other funding organisations, whether it's with communities, to assist us identify how we can support communities that we serve. So look, we've got a couple of funding pathways, which is on the next page. our community support and events fund up to a maximum of $10,000. But we've also got a community impact fund, and we have got a community partnership fund. But the community impact fund is up to a maximum of $100,000 a year. But what we're trying to do is to identify those groups or organisations or communities that fit within our priority communities and also are working towards the achievement of those PO, those 4 PO in particular that I just identified. But we're also looking at how we might support communities by way of multi-year funding. So up until now, we've largely done just single year funding, and every single year you have to apply for funds again the next year, and it's usually sort of for $5,000 or $10,000. What we're saying now is if we're going to assist organisations and groups make a real difference in the work that they're doing, they need some surety around funding, and they need continuity around that funding support, so they can get to a point where they are not having to worry about where their next dollar is going to come in the subsequent year. So that's part of the work that we're doing at the moment, is identifying groups that might fit into that impact funding area. So look, I've got some links on the last page there, which is our funding framework, but also our strategic plan. And that's about it. I think I might have just gone slightly over. But look, the whole purpose of just being able to speak to you today is just to introduce ourselves, introduce Neomail. Neomail's contact details are on the last page there. And you know, if there's an opportunity or there is a desire on your part to either connect directly with Neomail, please do so, or groups that you may have in the communities that you're serving that might benefit from a discussion with Neil, we would really welcome that connection being made. Cheers.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for that. Couple of questions. Got time for a couple of questions? Any questions?
That's pretty clear to all.
Just want to.
Yeah.
Yeah. I said, thanks to David. That was fantastic. Martin Boswick, councillor of South Wairarapa. When you talk about the 4% that's getting distributed, is that coming out of the interest that's been earned on the 228 million? Sort of where is that? How do you
So
on the 4%?
Our asset base is invested into equity shares, global and New Zealand and overseas bonds. We invest in 4 private equity firms based in New Zealand. And then we've also got cash. So the 4% is, so we would normally look to generate about 5.5% return on that investment each year. So 4% goes towards grants, and the remainder goes through the operating costs of the business. Last year our return was 13.8%. So we had a really good year last year.
Thank you.
Cool. Thank you for your contact details and your time. Tonight we may get you back, probably Neil, around the detail at one of our forums. Hey,
look, thanks for the opportunity, and you know, please contact us if you can in time. Look, and next time we're down there, we'll just make a point of connecting.
That'll be great.
That'll be wonderful.
Thank you, David.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Bye, Neil.
Right. Thank you. Now we have the Whaiti project. Kerry?
I found a short video. I don't know whether we've got time or it's technical.
Yeah, can you plug it in?
My presentation is probably in about 5 minutes long. If you watch the video, it will explain most of it, and then I can finish it off with a few words. But
I can't guarantee anything.
Sorry. Well, if it doesn't work, I can. Fine.
Right.
Anyway,
The reason all I have is wing digs. I can't see anything.
Waiti project.
It's not going to work.
No.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Ding, ding. Aye.
Okay, so, my name is, of course, Terry Burnett. This is about the Whitey project, which I'm just going to run through exactly what the project is about, which is being used as an area post-education center. Features our freshwater life and is designed as a classroom conversation starter about our life in our lakes, rivers, streams, and wetlands. There's a QR code on the poster that leads to our website, where teachers and students can explore other interesting areas of freshwater ecology, such as wetlands, te onga species, barriers to fish passage, Māori Māori, etc. Poster groups endemic, native, introduced species, as well as fish and some micro-birth rates. Captions, information, details common are Māori names, approximate size and conservation status of each of the species. Photograph type and location of the species displayed in the natural swimming motion and were released unharmed into the waterways they came from. So I went on location. The regional council scientists and photographed these fish actually on location. Now the project's aim through this funding is to deliver a poster and an online resource to schools in the Greater Wairarapa area as a pilot to the rest of New Zealand, with funding obviously from other sources. The Wairarapa project aims to increase awareness, understanding and empathy for our water and the life it supports, to give educators the tools to inspire our young, raising awareness of the threats these ecosystems face, pollution, habitat destruction, etc. When our children are inspired, they will likely promote more sustainable practices in the future and share their interests in the subject with their parents and family in the now. Now, in terms of social well-being, by providing our schools with this poster and online resource, we're not just sharing information, we're igniting a passion for our local waterways. This connection will nurture empathy for our children, for the diverse life that thrives within these waters. A sense of responsibility through this valuable resource. Economic well-being. When we empower our Tamariki with the knowledge about our lakes, rivers and streams, we're investing in their future handouts. This education will ensure that these precious resources are cherished and protected, so that families and travellers and generations from now can enjoy the beauty of the Wairarapa in the same waters that our children learn to respect and safeguard today. Environmental well-being. In a world dominated by screens, this poster offers a refreshing escape right in our classrooms. It draws our attention to the vibrant life that exists beneath the surface of our freshwater ecosystem. This isn't just a poster, it's a physical reminder of our duty to cherish and protect the environment that sustains us all. Cultural well-being. This poster is more than a visual aid. It's a spark of meaningful conversation. It will inspire class projects, honour and explore our rich cultural values. In the Wairarapa, Māori Māori holds immense significance, and this resource highlights our treasure of taonga. In summary, the Wairarapa is a tapestry woven with rivers and streams, each one a lifeline. Our wetlands are among the most prestigious in the country. In respect, by bringing this resource into our educational facilities, we empower our children to embrace their heritage and take action to protect our water. Let's ensure they grow up knowing the value of what they hold in their hands, our precious water, our legacy.
Thank you, Terry.
Sure.
So you've got the document presumably that I've presented council, so you know what I'm asking for. Now, since then, I have done some crowdfunding and I have got a quantity of the posters printed. So I can bring the figure that I'm asking down a little. We can basically say that there's about 50 educational facilities in the Great Wairarapa that I want to present to. You quantify by saying they'll cost $60 each. So that's about 3,500. So it's down in the figure because it's basically gone ahead. I've had to get the poster printed. And luckily I've got some crowdfunding. So any questions?
Yes, thank you for your presentation. Great looking poster. But tell me, when this goes into schools, it goes into you integrate it in schools, or is this?
I can do, but on the whole, it'll go into a school with a letter from whoever has pledged it. So my funding going forward will be based on people pledging the poster to their local schools. In the Wairarapa, I'm trying to get the whole of the Wairarapa done as a pilot program, which will give me a very strong footing to sort of start to present it for more funding from other parts of the country or from other sources. So I think that getting this in schools with an association of an online resource, we've got it on walls. Children will start to see what we've got in our waterways. Now, I produced a New Zealand seafood poster that's been on fish and chip shop walls for the last 30 years. Okay? So people are always saying to me that as children, they just look at that poster and they just marvel at the fish. Same will happen here. If this is on a classroom wall, kindergarten wall, then the children will aspire to it and it will invoke a conversation around our fresh water. And as I said on the poster, we've got our endemic fish, which only exists here in New Zealand. We've got our introduced fish. We've got native fish, introduced fish. And then I highlighted the whitebait species so that people will understand that whitebaits are actually more than what you find on a little patty. You know, they actually go into these beautiful creatures. Some of them, these ones here, these three, are actually endemic, which means they're compound orans. So to me, it's a passion project. It has been for a long time. It's taken me about 4 years to get to this point. And one way or another, I will get it out.
Yeah, that's great. Thanks, Terry. Have you ever approached Mountains to Sea that do?
Yes, well, I have, and I'm in the process of, as soon as I've got the poster printed, it'll be going out to all of these people, just as a reminder. But yes, most of them know what I've been at. But it's only the point now that I've actually got to print it that people are taking it more seriously because it's a physical thing and it's more of a long-term plan.
And you were asking for how much from the Māori Standing?
Originally, it was 4,000. As I say, you can ring them now, 3,500, and I can send it out to about 2 o'clock. There are about 50 schools and early childhoods that would go out to. As I say, the figure that I originally was asking for has come down because I have done some crowdfunding. I've actually got a quantity of the printing places right. Furthermore, if you want it to go out to the schools in the Wairarapa, it can go out with some sort of a note or a sticky on it that will say that it's from the Wairarapa Māori Standing Committee or whatever it is that you would like to qualify.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, very much.
Kia ora.
Oh, kia ora.
Kia ora.
Brilliant, thanks, Terry.
Okay.
We have now Tracy Burkhart. Atu Mokai.
So, what are you there, Rewa? Monica? Okay. The seeds were collected by someone sitting in this room. Toi Toi. And Harakiki. So, and I'm just going to let you pass this round. If you have a look at this Monica spray, you'll see there's a seed pod on here towards the base, and in that seed pod is something like 300 seeds.
Good for a tea, Jake. Oh, nice.
And here's an example of a seed of each of these on, I'll pass these around, and you can see that the actual little threads at the bottom, that's the Monica seed.
Yeah.
So what we do, oh, you will know about this. So what we do is we take those seeds and we raise them and to plants that can be planted around primarily the Wairarapa Moana, and Some of those beautiful fish that you saw on that poster, inanga and whakapu and tuna, used to be, I used to go eeling.
Yeah.
And so
They make their babies in those plants there.
yeah, exactly. So at the nursery, we have a group of volunteers and also paid workers, and we turn out something like 200,000 plants each growing season. So we do a really good job. The application for funding that we put in, and we put in with Eastern as well, is to extend our potting shed area. And so we're reusing an existing building and upgrading it, recycling it. And one of the main benefits of having that extra space is that we'll increase our production by about 30%, 25 to 30%. We will also increase our capacity to host groups of children during the winter and times. And also we have a group of really committed volunteers that come every week. We jostle for space in our tiny little potting sheds to be able to do our work. And when you look at those seeds, they are handled from that when they are seeds like that, they're handled 4 times before the plants are ready to go out of the nursery like this. So it's a lot of handling and a lot of work, and that volunteer time and effort is a huge contribution to the success of the nursery. It's also a huge contribution to the, I guess, the well-being of the community, because I sat around and talked to our volunteer. I'm one of the volunteers. I sat around and talked to our volunteers just recently at a planting session on the Moana, and I said, why do you come? And for a lot of the volunteers, it was a place where they come where they could get away from some of the challenges that they face daily. There are generations. You've got a young woman who brings her wee boy, what's his name? Ernie. Ernie's a cowboy, but he loves hanging out with mum while she's doing this stuff at the nursery. And her mother-in-law also comes. So there's 3 generations all attached to the nursery from a volunteer perspective. So here's a huge social benefit. Volunteers come from all over the show. I'm out at Hanakura, Diane is down at Lake Ferry. The other groups of volunteers are from around. So yeah, it brings, it's a great place for people to gather who care about the environment, particularly of the lake. And I think we're really well placed to become a significant contributor to some of the South Wairarapa District Council's initiatives around wastewater management, and planting. So we're there, we are doing amazing work, and we have probably something like 12,000 hours a year of volunteer work, which is a huge economic contribution to. Yeah, and Karen is the narrator is so I'm also a committee member, but yeah. Any questions?
Through you, Chair. Thank you. Great presentation. Hi. Got some stuff home from your last presentation. Thank you. Flying up the.
And these have to go through.
I was on up. Thank you again. This is slightly off topic a wee bit. I've got a paper in front of council for a no-mow berm planting policy to assist with water drainage, etc., like to minimise, not just for Greytown, but sort of region-wide, a test spot to kind of get it going to see what happens. Is this something that would be transferable from just Moana through to a more urban situation as well?
Anything that's environmentally improving,
Yeah, I mean, so I was talking to people about it and they go, oh, you just want to make it like an English country garden in the middle of a roundabout, and go, no, it's not that. It's about helping with, water drainage and everything else.
Well, natives particularly are very good at processing the water, and we're talking about wetlands, and they're just very, very good at keeping waterways, and because there's been degradation, that's one of the reasons why there's so many.
So this is the 10,000 you're looking for the shed to get.
No, just 6. We put in
Oh, is it?
10. Yeah, we put in 6 for 16 and got 10 from the.
Oh, you did 2 for the wellbeing fund.
Okay.
We're looking for the extra 6. We got applications in with 2 other funding.
Body.
Yeah, because between them and Kohinoe, they supply the whole of the South
Yeah.
Wairarapa.
So that's the other community boards that you're going to as well, is that right?
The Eastern and Central and the Gift Trust, we have a.
Also the 6,000 between Featherston Community Board and us. So 3.
Oh, okay, 3.
Right, okay.
3 to the.
You're looking at 3,000.
And
Thanks, Chair.
thank you. Any other questions?
I love it.
So lovely, thank you.
Yeah.
If I may just,
Tracy?
to your question,
They're great, aren't they?
Yeah.
Well, you can touch base out offline
Yep.
with Councillor Bosley, so it'll be good. Great work. Good to see.
I promised the nursery manager I'd have these back to her for Friday.
I'll take it back tomorrow, don't worry. It's on the way for me.
Yeah.
Through you, Chair, we have another presentation. Sorry. Alex. Right, Alex, from the Lower Community Garden.
Awesome. Awesome.
Oh, and Mr. Joe House, are you talking as well? Good. So we'll go with Joe, we'll go with you first, please. I had you on the list.
Yeah, for that.
Kia ora koutou, Alex Tapuangoa. I'm a trustee with the Aorangi Restoration Trust. And there's 3 things we want to talk to you about. We're seeking your input and support, no funding. We have other sources for some of what we're doing and other things in process. So the first thing is the Waihinga Wellness Walks, and we're just bringing to your attention that a group of us, headed by Jane and Tracy Lee and others, are keen to see some walkways develop around the rivers adjacent to Martinborough, the Whangarua and the Mahanga. There's a patch of Podocarp bush on the Smith property a few kilometres out, which has been QE2'd, and the Smith family are supportive of us having a walkway to that bush. So it's a matter of us working with landowners, private landowners who own pieces of the riverbank to get that permission, and having your support would be helpful for us if you were able to give us that. Also, of course, being Moana, if there's anything that we need to know in respect to what we're thinking of doing, we'd like to have that brought to our notice early on. The second thing I wanted to talk about is the Aorangi Restoration Trust are keen to revitalise some of the walking trails in the Aorangi Forest, south of Martinborough. There's 3 trails in particular that we have in mind for the first phase, and those emanate from the Aorangi Road end at the end of Ruakok-Patuna Road, Big Ridge and the Middle Loop track, and also the Aorangi Tamonga or Bull Hill track, which we would like to turn into a circuit track in conjunction with the Greater Wellington plans to develop the Hiwanui Forest Block into a regional park, which is in response to us lobbying them for several years on that count. It gives access to the forest park, and then we can develop these trails. So again, one of the committees of the South Wairarapa District Council has put some money towards developing these trails, and we are seeking your input and support. The third thing is a little bit left field. When we've been doing a lot of research on the history of the Aorangi Ranges, and one of the projects I came across was creek up in the Turanganui Basin, small creek, that everyone knows is Sweeney's Creek. I researched the background to that, and there's a chap that went away to World War One as a soldier for New Zealand and ended up being executed by the British forces, probably on grounds that were pretty nebulous. He was an Australian, he came from Tasmania. He'd been serving in the Australian forces. He would not have been able to be executed because he was serving with the New Zealand forces. They were able to do that. So what I want to do here is I want to get that creek, which everyone knows locally as Sweeney's Creek, recognised by the geographic names, and I need your support to do that. If you decide not to support me on that one, or us as the Aorangi Restoration Trust, we will understand, but it's there for you to consider.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So just on Sweeney's Creek, that's what you will call it?
Yeah. Yeah.
In his honour?
Yes, well, it's known as that, and like the newspaper articles that were published about 30 years ago mentioned then that the creek is known as Sweeney's Creek, and Joe Hanson, who was the dock ranger, confirmed that everybody in that world calls it Sweeney's Creek. It's only a small creek, just goes off up on the true left just south of Sutherland's Hut, and there's a basin that and the literature that I've been researching for the trust mentions it as Sweeney's Creek and Sweeney's Camp.
Yeah.
It's a matter of turning that into official recognition, so it's on the topographic maps.
So you're aware we're wanting to revitalise our own our original name?
Yeah, that's why I'm saying.
And that, but thank you for letting us know what you're doing there.
Yeah, so I'd understand completely if you say no, but yeah, there it is.
Do you know what its original name?
John Sweeney was a bushman who was felling bush in that area.
But the name of do you know what the name of the creek was originally, prior to it starting to be called Sweeney?
There's no document I can find with any of they're small creeks, so they're all pretty much unnamed creeks, and the ones that feed into the Turanganui.
They're the ones that feed into the Turanganui.
Yeah, names that I'm unaware of, and yeah.
And what does that support look like for you?
It would be a vote of support for changing the name, so I can use that when I go to the geographic. Now, they of course these days insist that we consult with Māori, so I have to have that as a precursor to proceeding with it. If it's not there, I won't proceed, and that's not the end of the world. It's just I'm putting the opportunity out.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Any other questions, Joe? Just around your walkways and wanting to revitalise really your trails and things. We'd be keen to have ongoing discussions around how you progress with that.
Right.
So that would be great, Joe, if you can keep us in the loop with progress on that.
So speaking to Jane, so that was the walk along the waterway especially. She said you're going to have the codes there so people can think in and get stories about that area. That's that section there.
Yeah, yes, it was encouraging the presentation about the marine life areas, Jane and Rob.
And those few codes we're going to give them information to the different areas of the
Mahanga.
It's a developmental work, so we will apply for funding for that in the future. It's really just alerting this committee to the fact that that piece of work is starting and ongoing. And if there are things that we need to be aware of in respect to the use of the moana, we'd like to know about them earlier rather than later, of course.
I support that, Kaupapa.
Yeah.
Better have the fight now than.
And the fact that
just online, we've got Leonie wondering if Doc is aware of any Māori history as well. Well, Joe Hanson, he's one of the gurus of this area, of course, from Doc. Yeah. So he's put forward his knowledge to what you're doing,
A big box of,
his records,
Yeah.
old
And all
records.
of us.
we're turning that into a book, publishing as a milestone for the 50 years that the Aorangi Forest Park's been established. That'll be published next year sometime. So it was in the course of all that research that we came up with some of these things. The key piece that you're probably aware of is that the summit ridge of Aorangi Tamonga and Hikupu Mount Ross have been given back to Kāpanunu as part of the treaty settlement. So we have a meeting organised with the environmental manager from Ngāti Kāpanunu on the 12th of November.
Okay.
So
Good stuff. Good job, guys. You guys are doing great.
So is that Ra?
It's Renee.
Renee, Clark? Okay, cool. Awesome. Maybe you can take us for opportunity to have a hikoi around what you're looking at. So we get,
Yeah,
that'd be
right.
great.
Yeah.
yeah, be very keen to do that.
Yeah, in the new year, that would be great. Thanks, Ro.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah. Well done.
Piranua Community Garden.
Hello.
So I am Alex Morrissey and I am a vegetable grower. I have for the last 5 years. Previous to that, I was actually a solicitor, but I gave that up when I had my first child, as I wanted to focus on being more at home and in my community and not spending 2 hours a day traveling the office. So along that journey, though, I did find stopping working and having a baby quite an isolating thing in a rural area. And so something that I wish had existed at the time was a community place of gathering, like a community garden, which is, I feel like the Whenua is a great place where everyone can come together. It's no one's particular space, you know, everyone can be there together. So it's such a great place for you and your babies and your children to be. So this is where I'm now pregnant with my 3rd child. I am trying to make this vision come to life. So I have been given a piece of land to use for essentially Whenua's feed. So it's someone else's Whenua that they're letting me use, half a hectare, just down the road from my house. And I have started planting it and developing it into a marikai. And it is almost ready for spring. So it's got about 20 large garden beds, which are 10 metres by 3 metres, and they are all developed and planted, which is very exciting. And so now we're at the stage where we're ready to invite other people into the Whenua for 3 reasons: educational, community and empowerment. So I have been doing gardening workshops and education and community events for about 5 years now. And most recently, I've been working with Waiora and Masterton with their marikai out at the coast. And through that process, I got to hold some really awesome workshops. And I would like to now offer that for the South Lighted Upper, and particularly Piranoa, for 12, so 1 a month for a year, to get as much knowledge out to people. Through those sessions that I had previously done, I've realized that actually the greatest thing to come out of them is the empowerment for people, right? So currently our food system feels a little bit broken and we feel a bit hopeless, and suddenly taking a little bit of control back and being like, actually, I can grow my own kai and it can be really nutritional and fresh and nutrient dense and not costing me the earth. It means I don't have to drive an hour to the supermarket. All of that can be so, just so empowering, great for your mental health, your well-being, all of those things. That was really what spurred me to want to do this, to see that huge impact that it has for people long-term in their well-being. As part of this also, through my experience of running workshops, is it's awesome to do a 2-hour workshop for people who that's all they have time for, to kickstart them and get them interested in it and to start that process of growing a garden. But actually for proper long-term success for people, holding a more regular gardening group would actually be far more helpful for them, so that they can come back with their questions once they start implementing it in their garden, so that when the seasons change and things start to die or look different or go to seed, we can work together and they can see the whole process of that. So I would also like to offer a gardening group open to everyone. And that would almost be like an internship, and that they would see throughout all the seasons and all the year, everything we do in a large scale garden, and help them grow their own kind. We could help them through that process so they could grow seedlings out our garden, and they could then, when they're ready, take them back and plant them in their gardens. That kind of full on support to really help people grow kind. Also, the way that we do it is using waste resources in our backyards and communities. So often buying expensive things from the gardening stores doesn't always lead to amazing gardens. Often seedlings don't survive very well because they've been in a very incubated environment, have a lot of fertilizers, and then you put them in your garden, they die, which leads to dishearteningness. And also a lot of the potted bags of things in the shops are just not full of life, and that's what we're trying to create, is soil life and biology. So the way we do this is essentially a composting layering method using things like food waste, lawn clippings, green waste, your carbons, your browns, your cardboards, but also farm waste, things like wood chips, straw, hay, dags, all of that. There's abundance of in our rural communities, and it also often ends up waste in a burn pile or in a hole somewhere. So using that to grow healthy soil, which can buy. So that's the other really empowering thing about it, is putting it back into people's hands, that you don't need to spend thousands of dollars building raised planter beds and buying all this potting mix and all of these plants that may not actually yield much success. I think that's the reason it puts a lot of people off gardening, is they start and it all goes wrong and they're like, oh, I'm bad at this. You're not bad at this. This situation is how nature intended.
Yeah.
So we're taking it back to understanding the soil and the environment and how plants grow in nature and putting that in our garden. Obviously, the more organic gardens we have in our community, the better it is for our soil and our waterways and everyone's health. So a real win. Any questions?
Thanks, Ella.
Progress.
That's clarification on the funds that you're applying for. How much are they?
So it's 4,900. The majority of that is for about 3,000 for a tunnel house.
Yeah.
So I've set up quite a few muddy-kai, and the whole setup is about $2,000 to set one up of this size. But the main piece of infrastructure that we really need to make it work is that tunnel house, so that we can grow seedlings, and also so we can do the groups and the workshops in any weather, so that we have space where we can be like, cool, we're going to do the demonstration in here today. And also help them grow those seedlings, because it's quite hard to get organic vegetable seedlings in the Wairarapa and St. Mary's. So your only choice is the stores, which aren't great. So if we can get people growing them in our communal tunnel house, then everyone can take them back to their gardens. So that's the main piece of funding. And then also a potted like stand, it's hard to say, like a little it's like a bench with a little iron roof over it. And so that's that we can do the potting in an ergonomic way, because having everyone sit down on the grass isn't great for older people or kids, or it's wet or whatever. So if we can stand at essentially just a bench with the pots and the soil and make our own potting mix and things, that makes a huge difference. Essentially, I want to make sure that I can actually offer this every, season of the year.
Yeah.
And then the other amount of that is just to help compensate for the time. So for the workshops, I've put $100 per workshop, which is hugely reduced. It's about 4 hours of my time, so it's about $25 an hour to do that.
Yeah. Cool. Any other questions?
Yeah, so
Hey.
Chair, so how would you advertise or let people know about these workshops?
Good. So I have 9,000 followers on Instagram who follow me for gardening advice and information in the community. I put something out the other day asking who would be interested, and I had about 50 South Wairarapa people come back and say they'd love to come to the gardening group regularly, and over 60 people say they'd like to come to the more formal educational workshops. So that would be that, but also just word of mouth community, flyers up.
Because
The people who
Instagram.
yeah.
My garden's already planted.
Good mouth, JD, you're hearing that here?
Yeah.
Councillor Bosley?
Yeah, thanks, Chair. That was a great presentation. You're working with Vagabond Veg as well, is that right?
Yeah.
So how does that work? How's that collaboration work?
So separate to my garden, the Good Garden, I run Little Farms, which is a collaborative veggie box business. And so we work with about 10 plus organic growers in the Wairarapa, helping connect them to the food to the people.
Right.
And so Vagabond Veg is one of those suppliers, and also Whaiora, suppliers after we've set them up, so they're helping them be financially sustainable so they can keep doing their program where they donate a lot of their food. So we work with a whole bunch of different growers.
Right.
Collective.
Yeah.
Hi, Narita.
So organic, so are you registered organic?
So we're not certified organic. We practice that. In the long term, we would love to get that sorted. It's just quite a process.
Yeah.
To start with. Process.
And that costs too.
It costs
And that.
yeah.
One last question. Would you do workshops at the marae?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, that would be epic because they have amazing facilities there.
Yeah.
We have a nursery.
Yeah, you've got a nursery. So
So connecting.
yes, that would be.
Alex.
Yeah.
Kapai. Thank you, Alex.
That was awesome, thank you.
We have a great beaches.
I'm on item number 6 of our agenda, which says actions from public participation.
Through you, Chair, I've got notes of Neil from Eastern Extension to attend the next forum.
Yes. And that's it. I notice it's a bit chaotic, our agenda. Don't. Sorry for.
I'm glad you pointed it out, 'cause I thought it was me for a while.
No, it's not. It's just straightforward. I'm looking at my notes and then trying to find it in the papers. I'm looking at page 65 of your main agenda.
Right.
That's around the grant report.
Oh, hang on.
And I'm just going to have a check in my speaking notes if we're actually going to come back to that.
The grant report and in the budget.
Yeah, 10.5. So I just want to make sure that we're covering everything off. On page, well, I've got page 65. Has everyone got that on their main agenda?
And the thick one.
Their main meeting papers.
And 10.2, or is it? No, it's
10.5.
Yeah.
and 10.2, there's two.
So I just want to note, we'll just tick things off as we go to make sure that we're covering off everything. That we've just got at recommendations 5. We've had the.
Not 10.3.
And so these amounts are incorrect?
Yeah, that's what I was asking. They're up-to-date costings.
Yeah.
So through you, Chair, there's been some movement in how much, because between putting up the agenda and now wanting some funding, and so those numbers have changed.
Yeah, that's why I was just checking. So we're looking at, I'm just looking at number 5. We've had a YT project, so that they've
3.5 now?
yeah,
Yeah.
3.5 yeah. Just for that poster, wasn't it?
Yep.
3.5 yeah.
But not just the poster, it was the,
Online.
so it's like a pledge in a way, isn't it? Because, so if a poster is printed and then we, the Māori Standing Committee says to
We're
the,
going to deliberate that now, or?
No, I'm just noting
they're trying to work out if it's just for the poster or if it's for the,
the cost.
I was a bit confused when he said pledge, I was like, what?
Yeah.
We'll carry on to, I'm just ticking these off to make sure that we're covering everything.
Mhm.
B is Pidden or Community Garden, so that went up in
3,900.
request to 4.9.
Yeah, how come that says 3.6?
3,678.
And then Pai Tu Mokai or Tauira, that was 3K.
3678 is what she asked for in the community wellbeing fund. 3678 is what she asked for in the community wellbeing fund.
What's this? Awhia Coastal Trust.
So that's been dealt with in another way. So 5 is foreshadowing what we were expecting to come from the Community Fund.
Yeah.
But the Awhia Coastal Trust been dealt with separately, so
So we can cross that off.
cross it off, it didn't come.
D, please cross that off. Didn't come.
Budget more quotes, 3K,
Yes, it was.
and the parental community garden is now 4.9.
Yeah. I was just noting in my notes, how many, I don't know how many applications were received by the Community Wellbeing Fund. And I don't know how come we've got these ones out of all those. Yes.
Yeah, so, it was massively oversubscribed, right? Like, it was like over $1 million for applications for funding. We only had 360.
And it was over 100, I think. Applications.
So we had, we started to look at a few of them and just actually that fits more in the forum of Māori Standing Committee. And also knowing that we actually had quite a lot of rollover budget, which really didn't come to light until, a week or so ago. Because I kept thinking, that's too much. And then I don't need to have that discussion right now. But
That was the officers actually doing that. Triaging. Really.
yeah.
Okay. Thank you. I just wanted to know what the process.
Yeah, well, and there was discussion, it was fairly healthy discussion held by the Wellbeing Committee, Fund Committee,
Yeah.
on the day of the application, on the day of the hearings.
Yeah.
We went through the deliberations and some was directed to the Great Town Committee Board,
Definitely.
back to the FCB. So it's just like, where does this kind of sit?
Yeah.
Rather than being around the font and dictating what the Wellbeing Fund was about. It doesn't meet the criteria for that fund.
So that was the actual Wellbeing Committee.
Yeah.
Yep.
Wellbeing Fund Committee. Cool, thank you. Moving on to our agenda, I think how we're going for time.
Let's pick up the pace a little.
Tell us what page you're going to go to.
So I am now, if we can, the other action, up to that sections from public participation was to liaise with Joe House around, like organising for us to go on a hikoi with him.
Yeah.
And just get more understanding of what they're doing.
So they presented to, sorry, Chair, they presented to the community and youth grant. We gave, I think it was at 10, I think.
Yeah.
To what they're doing for the really great presentation along the lines with it. And Joe was there as well. Is he the doc guy?
Joe Hanson, yeah,
He was up there for a year, retired guy, but he'd been heavily involved and had a lot of local knowledge up there.
Yeah.
As well. And
used to live it.
yeah, it's phenomenal what they're doing. Extraordinary.
So when we say hikoi, are we talking the river and Aorangi or?
Oh, I think the river.
Eh?
Start off with the river.
River.
And then
Eventually Aorangi.
Prue will do the kai at the end.
Oh, yeah.
And we'll move to
Yeah, Manaki Prue.
Yeah, we can do as much as we want.
Yeah.
He was asking like 3 things, eh? So
Yeah.
do you think that's in a letter of support? So we could,
So there was 3.
So that's all.
so I thought,
He wasn't asking for funding, eh?
no.
No, he was asking for support.
No, he just wanted really the letter of support to go around this John Sweeney parade.
Prue.
Oh, yeah.
And
It's
anyway,
annoying.
I think we'll get to that. I hope I voiced what we confirmed that around our naming thing.
I think that I was hitting him up by asking him what his support would look like. To me, support is around tikanga and our names and our kaupapa.
Yeah.
So
He was a
And
criminal.
that's the place where that can be put in.
Yeah, we'll support them and trying to get them to remember,
Our stories and our
yeah,
kaupapa around fish water.
yeah.
So will we be doing to find anything out about the river or the
Why?
No, but I think just ongoing discussions with this group is really important because they are actually doing a lot of activity. So to get alongside, I know in the past, Harmy's been doing, they were at the, wanting to put the thing around the penguins and that
Yeah.
down by the lighthouse and things. So they do engage, and Kohanui, they've asked for support. But it's kind of like they still need a bit more help and education around how we do things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's good. Good point. Thank you. Urgent business. I'm on to now.
What page?
Well, I've got,
Well, there's nothing on here.
no, this is number 7 on my talking notes, and it's got urgent business. So this is a little bit of an issue.
Managing on this agenda.
I'll let you know.
What's happened? This is nuts.
There are 4 items of urgent business to be tabled. So let me refer you to item 10.6. Grants from Community Wellbeing Fund.
So through you, Chair, when we had 3 grants come in that were on time, and then the 3 that came from Community Wellbeing needs to go in a separate packet. Urgent.
But the Waiora, Kapitara and Kohanui applications.
So if we can turn back to page 65. Is that?
69.
Oh,
69.
Yeah. There's a correction on page 65.
Yes.
Point number 2, it's $3,000, not 300.
Right, thank you for informing us. I'll just wait.
Oh, for whai ora.
Yeah. I'm going to page 65 because this is around the Māori Standing Committee recommendations, okay, for the grants. We've got high order, so you're saying 3,000 for the Māori Sports Awards, which we continue to support in the past.
The past week, we did $100, so $500 every year for 3 years in that triennium.
Yeah.
And they got paid it the first year and then nothing after. But now they're asking for $3,000, which is quite a bit different.
And so have we paid them in this triennium at the beginning of it?
No.
So what we did in the past, we haven't done this triennium.
That's right.
So they're asking for 3,000.
Normally we'd only committed $500.
Yeah.
It only says 300 on there.
Yeah.
It's a correction. This is what I'm being told by the reader.
That's right, on your application.
Says 300.
Page 6, it says the amount applied for in this application.
It's 300.
300.
Sorry, it's right, 300. It's not 3,000.
Well, that's easy.
Blimey.
Yeah.
Sorry, it's our appendices.
I can see that even with my glasses on.
Have you got our appendices?
PNDCs.
Hey, Robin, you're right.
Yeah.
I was right. Page 6.
I've been so wrong this week, I believe you.
Gonna say it looks scary to me, but I see 300.
Okay, so we've got that one. That sounds better. 300.
Say no way, you're not getting 3,000.
Okay, there's that one.
We don't know how much.
Okay, we could have won the whole Māori sports with.
The same family every time.
What's the other one we've got here? For the high order programs.
We've got no all way order.
It's also come from earlier cycle of the Community Wellbeing Fund.
Can't find that one.
This is with Lee.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's Kahutara Schoolmates, the principal applying for that funding to support Lee Bluty delivering a program for 8 weeks at Kahutara.
Yeah. And we can find that information.
Page 8 and 9.
Appendices.
Can we please go through all of the Māori words and just correct them? Because Kahutara is spelled, like it's just, and I've already, like, when I read this and I
It's a spell check on that, consider.
it said Hirawanini and stuff like that.
It is
His name and
spelling mistake.
it's taken so long to be able to have people pronounce the name correctly, and then when it's spelled incorrectly, it's a bit of a kick.
Well, that was the.
Application.
And not in this application, I'm saying in the whole thing when I read through, and just the spelling mistakes on the te reo. We just have to make sure we're trying
It's
to.
probably just a spell check correcting the spell.
And that says Kahutara instead of Kahutara.
So this is in our board papers.
I just, you know,
Noted.
thank you.
So we've got, the application from our school, Kahutara, and how much was it?
1,800.
It does, on page 12 are appendices.
I thought you said 4.9.
No, that was
4.9.
No, 4.8 on page
8.
Oh.
So we've got,
Everything.
At
yeah,
least
we've got 4.8, right? Okay, and in our main paper, got 300 for fire order. We've got 4.8 for Kahutara School. And then the last one, Kohonui Marae for 3,000. And that is in our appendices as well, looking at the divider petition, isn't it? For the installation of a petition.
Yeah, between Whare Nui,
Yeah.
where those schools are. Between there and
Wharekai.
yeah.
Cool, thank you. And the quotas in there, or the,
Yes, another 3 is for,
Page 21.
so that was for $3,045. Is that correct, Violet?
Yeah, I think so.
Well, we're
yeah,
page 65,
Yes.
right? Written at number 3,
Yeah.
in a way,
Mhm.
is that different from the Prina Community Garden Project?
Yes.
same amount,
The same amount?
Yes, one's Kahutara Primary School and one's Piri Nor.
but is it the same thing? All right.
No, they're
No,
No, they're two different.
two different things.
Can't find the thing.
Well, no, the Kahutara one is Lee Flutie delivering the Te Puna Whitewater program.
It's
Yeah.
not the same amount because it's one, the Te Puna Waiora program is 4.8 and the gardening is 4.9 for a tunnel house.
Then when we said about the Purinor Community Garden, we got told it was great.
Yeah.
So that's okay.
Oh, she,
Right.
Yeah. Anyway.
A tunnel house.
Sorry, I apologise for the, this is very confusing,
It is.
Yeah, they are
And I'm
at one hole.
but anyway,
I'm super confused too with this, with this bit here. Can you tell me?
What one's that?
This is on page 70.
Is that part
I've got all page 65 ticked off, so I'm just going to leave it at that.
My bad. Yeah.
And I'm going to move to, this is all under urgent business on my notes, 10.7, which is Māori Standing Committee Appointments Report. Now we're going to Papawai. Now let's see if we can find that.
That one. Yeah.
It's on the back of something,
Supplementary.
back of one.
This one? Now this is a notification from Papawai of, we have Terina. Anyone got that paper?
Page 2. I'll look at it.
I haven't got it, so I don't think.
Amongst the.
Just hoping we're not gonna miss something here.
So I've got a little supplementary one, the
That's
skinny
so
one.
there's three.
So have a skinny one.
The skinny twenty.
Jenny, agenda, supplementary.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah, there it is.
Skinny one.
Oh, that's the new?
Yes.
What page you were on
Page 3. So that's.
Page 3, yes.
So this person is.
Oh, Mike.
That's it.
Fair.
Yeah.
On here when he's coming back.
Yeah. So just to let you know that Terina is stepping down. She's very busy.
Yeah.
And we've got Michael Roida and also Hirawini as his alternate joining Māori Standing Committee. So just to note that.
Can her name please be in the recommendation? She's a kaiwai, not a kawai.
Yes.
And any other, so we've got that on, that's Kawai, but it's Kai. There's an I missing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Although we did used to call them fish.
That's just to be noted at this stage until I move it. And then, of course, you would have been given my report, chairperson's report. I'm just going to summarise that quickly for you. Now, that was one that was handed out before.
Yep.
Where is
One that
chairperson's? Oh, yep. Just on the page, sorry, the page numbers aren't numbered, but page 2, if you turn the front page. I'm just going to about reading it. We're at the chairperson's report.
You don't have it, it's on your computer.
Oh, here we go. Yeah, no, I got it.
But the page is not numbered. So it's on number 2. And it's that's
that one.
So I just, of course, acknowledging our this stunning day we had to celebrate the gifting of Manaakitanga or Ngāti Hikowera. That was stunning, and I'd like to thank you all for participating, those that were able to come. The McGregor whānau and Ngāti Hikowera really enjoyed the day.
Yeah.
And really appreciated us putting that effort into that day finally happening. And do you know how they're going to store the korowai?
So it's at my house at the moment until her case is made or.
That's that at the council office? Whatever.
Well, ideally it'd be lovely here, but
LTP is.
yeah.
But at the moment we could probably, the way Liz had it, she had it in a suit bag and she had it on a nice.
So that's how I've got it at home, because that's how I have ours.
We will need it for
the case line down.
We will need it for the citizenship ceremony, which I think is in a couple of weeks. There's one.
Yeah. So okay, that's good. You guys are taking care of it.
And then because
Emma.
May I see?
Thank you, spell check.
Well, because I can't help that I know everybody's last name.
Yeah.
I think that was on the program.
I've sent it backward and forward a few times and no one else pulled it up.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
That's where that's come.
Yeah.
Matt Gregors.
Yep. Awesome. And then the commemoration of the 1855 Wairarapa earthquake. So Bessie University, with their consultant, is wanting to have an event around commemorating that historic event, and was wondering if we want to, they will pay for it and help organise it. It's just really if we wanted to do something at one of the marae.
Yeah.
If we've got, that would be cool.
We'll make sure that's
Was there a particular marae that was affected by the earthquake? Excuse my ignorance on it, but
they were interested in the pūrākau if we have any at that time.
Lots of stories around the lower Wairarapa.
Yeah.
With the uplift.
right.
And
He would have a lot of information about it, the geek side.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah,
And because we did a lot of that at our wānanga, I spoke about a lot of that.
definitely something that should be acknowledged, I think.
Plus the ocean.
Yeah. So
the
Plates.
river where the mouth goes out now, the river used to go right round to.
Yeah, it wasn't there. It's better, right?
it would be good then if I can tee up a meeting with you and them.
Yeah.
Just to see what they can organise, and I don't know if Hauriki want to have a think about it. Something.
Big changes down home.
Where is their like to the of it, because I've never, I mean,
Maraki didn't exist then, or Suangaroa.
Yeah, this is,
That was one they do with, pancakes.
yes,
Could have been your grandmother.
But yeah.
that's why we'll have a hui.
Yeah, the 55 earthquake was probably the catalyst for the Lower Valley scheme 100 years later.
Yeah, and what we have now.
Have I got people that might be interested in getting together?
Yeah.
I am. I'm in.
Yeah, we will.
JD?
Oh, I think you'd be
JD?
involved. Yeah,
Yep.
it's fine, yeah.
And
I would be.
Haniwaka should be front and centre, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's
The
us.
coastal, that's where the biggest changes happen,
Yeah,
where those plates are under that water.
and if we're,
So,
who is?
Dottie.
Dottie,
Dottie's
you're
interested.
interested? Okay.
Season, Rangitani will be there.
Please note that I will organise or give you the information.
Ngāti Ira and Heniwaka.
so out here, Hikuera,
So does
like when you're
Leone.
looking from the golf course, you're looking up to those hills there. You could see where those all come, were they from the original one or from the 40s one?
So against right.
The,
When you're from at the golf course.
Yep.
You're looking up to those hills, you can see where there's, the top has come down, you know, it's sort of,
Probably more
you've got
recent.
the club.
get off and then come down to a big one. So would that have been the 1800 one or the?
Probably a combination.
Yeah.
Yeah, and all the ones we have every day.
You see the whole line, that's a definite,
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a definite horse
yeah.
ribbon.
I mean, yeah, we're on the.
Might be able to incorporate that. Waka out there.
Okay, that's cool. So we'll organise a hui with them. And then, of course, we had the local water done well, the presentation by Robin Wells, the project manager of that, and included the presentation that she gave online. And apologies, that was a bit, bit of a mix up that night because Papua had double booked because we were going to have a face-to-face there, but it turned to be online. And so that information is there for you. What's the next step with that local
Do you want
water
to
done well?
talk on this bit or? Do you want to talk on this or not?
Wasn't here.
Oh, that's right.
Just the next step on the timeline.
Oh, so we have to, my notes are back here actually, decide shortly.
Yeah.
So Masterton and Carterton are voting tomorrow. The week's time.
Carterton made an announcement.
Did they?
Today.
Yeah, it was, well, I got the email.
So we're kind of in a weird catch-22 situation right now of who's going to jump first here and which direction, and that will affect how the others, right?
Yeah.
If you jump first and suddenly find yourself on your own, you'll look stupid. So we've got to go this way, now let's go.
Okay.
We are tending towards the
Yeah.
Y plus T
Yeah.
option
Yeah.
as opposed to over the hill. I think everybody kind of wants to go with Y plus T, but there are rumours that Masterton thinking about wanting to maybe go it alone. But we can't confirm that or where that's at.
And then that's gonna be very.
That will, yeah, so we kind of need them to decide really what's going to happen.
Masterton. So you're waiting for Masterton?
It'll actually be us that goes first here in terms of the finals.
We go first here?
It'll probably be.
No, we're going to go, Marston will go first and
Okay.
be the morning, will be the afternoon.
Well, there you go.
And then,
Maybe will it affect us?
but Carter to make the decision on this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does have impact.
Yeah,
Why
Another
Steve
thing.
it will affect.
Aston was on.
We kind of need Masterton to be a part of it, right? For it to work. Look, it's one or two councillors around the table that think they should go it alone. The majority of councillors, we believe, are in the same camp as us, Y plus T.
Yeah.
So they've just got to negotiate around a couple of those councillors that are there. That's
What's going on?
Yeah.
that's kind of what we're hearing back. But, it's just, so we kind of feel, a bit in a tricky situation, really.
So does that thing need to be unanimous or it's not gonna move or?
But the thing, if we go with Y plus T, right, we can go further down the track, and if we don't like it, we can get out of it.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And it's not going to cost us anything.
Yeah.
If we go the other way,
The 10 or whatever.
yeah, if we go the other way, which is 10 other councils, basically, we have to pay to be at stage one.
We
Yeah.
lose.
And it's a six-figure amount, which is
Yeah.
And they will meet.
unspecified yet, and we don't get that back.
We'll be
So
paying
we
for
could go
their
down
road.
2 stages of that and then decide that's actually not for us.
Then we'll.
And we'll have done our dough.
Yeah,
They're all very, very
but
met.
if we opt out.
Yeah, they are. If we experience that now under Wellington
Water.
Water.
Yeah, and one,
Oh,
It's always the poor cousin.
and they didn't really, show they didn't read themselves any.
Yeah, their presentation was just like listening to them for the last 4 years.
It was unbelievable.
Rubbish, eh?
And the kaupapa for a metro-based system is completely different. We could do macro here or micro
Micro, yeah,
because of
localised.
just
Yeah.
So some of the arguments, some of the arguments against are, we don't have any of the technicians, technology, whatever, in-house.
Yeah.
But this would not happen overnight anyway. It would be transitional, cards,
Over time.
like over time, that would come.
Yeah.
We would attract the talent to the area once,
Yes, yeah.
maybe if we had to.
once we set it up.
Yes.
So I just was wanting to know if anyone knows when the deadline for the decision.
I did hear it today and I've already forgotten.
I thought I had a bit.
I'm looking on his thing.
Because I thought,
13th of November.
Yeah, I think it's, I don't have those notes with me.
say November.
November.
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow, yeah.
So it says here that the Carterton District Council make any decision on the 30th of October, Masterton on the 13th, and then we will be the same day, but now you've confirmed we're the afternoon.
Right.
30th of October, did you say?
We should.
Carterton.
Yeah.
So Carterton will lead out on the decision.
Yeah,
I've come to.
Carterton go, and we've decided we're just going to follow. Like,
Okay, thank you for that. We look forward to hearing those updates on.
But is that we're kind of like the weird ones as well, because they've got one wastewater treatment plant, one, but we've got.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, for including putting on, yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, so, we come with a bit of baggage that the others might not really want. Yep.
Oh, well, hopefully.
We should just
They
start a
see the
poll in
benefit.
Paterson and charge them to drive our roads.
Wasn't feeling well, so it had to talk for the fourth. Yeah, I just need a motion to accept those three reports.
Yep, that's where I'm up to. Do I have a mover to accept the extraordinary business? Thank you, Karen. Seconder, thank you, JD. All those in favour say aye.
Aye.
Any against, say Carl. The motion is carried. Right. We are going to the minutes, which I keep thinking that these should be at the beginning meeting.
Oh, sorry. Right.
Have a mover that the minutes of the Māori Standing Committee meeting held on the 30th of July are true and correct record for those that were in attendance.
Mate.
Anyone online want to
I think there was some.
put their hand up? Okay, thank you, Leonie. So,
Oh, hang on.
yes, do I have a seconder?
I was just going to say my apology. Did I not need to put apologies in for that meeting?
Or you're not a committee, you're a.
Oh, right. Yeah, gotcha.
I've got a couple of things. I've just got one that Jim Harper was never a taxi driver. So I'm not quite sure where that came from. He was with the Martinborough Volunteer Fire Brigade.
Is it?
The milkman.
The Martinborough life member of the Martinborough Rugby Club and was the milkman, but he's never been a taxi driver, so I've got no idea where that came from.
We could be Jim Harbour.
Yeah,
Oh, that must have been a rumour.
yeah. Yes.
I drive.
Had enough.
Driving wife around.
Is there anywhere it says husband or?
Hey, driving Missy around. That was-
Put her off at the gate.
Thank you.
Yes.
Anything else? Any other corrections? No. Okay, so
Everyone is.
Leonie,
Wasn't here that everyone is.
do I have a seconder?
Yep.
Thank you. And all those in favour, please say aye.
Right.
Any against? Can't say Carl. The motion is carried for the minutes. I'll take that as a matter of rising, Pip, from the previous minutes,
Oh, yeah.
just around the taxi driver. It wasn't an official. Oh, okay,
It's not.
all right. If there's nothing else, we'll go on to item number 10. Decision reports from the Chief Executive and staff. Now, this is 10.1. It's around the name of the Māori ward.
Oh, yes.
Let's see if we can find the
That's a cool
page for this.
Page 12?
Page 12.
Page 12, yeah, the main one.
Page 12 on the main agenda.
Yeah, Nikki's here to speak to it.
Good. All right, Nikki, you want to give us an update or lowdown of this?
Yeah, kia ora. Tomorrow at the council meeting, a paper has gone forward. Council will need to pass a resolution for what is considered the final proposal for representation. So there is an opportunity for a recommendation from the Māori Standing Committee around the name of the Māori ward. The advice I have been given is that the best way to do this is by way of a late submission. So there has been a letter put forward to the council, and I'm looking for a recommendation tonight from the Māori Standing Committee that you support the nomination from Papua and the gift from Papua on the name of the Māori ward, and that goes through tomorrow at the council meeting for council to consider amending the name of the Māori ward in the final proposal.
And what's that name, Nikki?
Leader,
Te karu o te eka.
Māori.
So we also, can we, I'll do this. Thank you, Nikki. Can I want to pass the naming of the Māori ward recommended by Papua Marae to be Te karu o te eka a Māori. Can I have a mover for that?
Yeah, Kohinoi nice.
Kohinoi moves, and we'll get JD.
Second.
Thank you, JD, and ka pai Dori, Sarangitani as well. So all those in favour, please say aye.
Aye.
And those against, say Carl. The motion is carried. Thank you. Now, we do have an opportunity to speak to the council on the name, or?
You have put yourself down for speaking.
Yeah, I did put my hand up for that. 9:30.
Yeah. Have you had details through? No. Okay. I'll send something through.
Okay, thank you. All right, so now let's have a look at them. That's awesome. Yep. Updates from Po Māori. Is there anything else I need to do, Robin? Okay. 10.2, updates from our Po Māori Narita.
All day, everybody. So items are to inform Māori Standing Committee and for members to ask questions or seek clarification. So these are just updates and stuff that we talked about at the last forum, and I've just been following up and getting a few things done. So one of the things was to be added to the induction or the onboarding schedule that we have at council. Yeah. And the things we discussed was like whakawhanaungatanga, our iwi hapu marae, significant sites, history of Māori Standing Committee, the role of the Po Māori, karakia morning tikanga practices, and the last one was treaty training and cultural competencies. So now I think I get about 30 minutes with new onboarding staff, because literally over 3 days they go around the whole office and all different parts of the organisation to understand what their role is across the organisation. And we thought we should have an induction into Māori Standing Committee and who we are and what we do within the organisation. So I've already had 2 people come through.
Oh, cool.
It's actually really nice because it's that opportunity to whakawhanaungatanga, and our new legal executive is Jess, got his surname, but really cool, from Greytown and really knows the coast really well, loves it out there, has a real respect for Te Ao Māori. And so that's been a really nice connection there, that she really appreciates this the space here. And the other one is Melissa. She's just come on in the planning area. Again, seems to be really knowledgeable. And she's just come back from the UK, seems to know a lot about Te Ao Māori and has a real respect in that space. So one of the things I ask is, treaty training or cultural I just want to know at what level, or have they done some previous training? What level are they? Are they interested to come on to the next training regime that I start organising over the next 12 months, and whether we do start from the beginning or whether it's just a step up from there. So it's been really good. Protocols for funerals, that's all in place now.
Yeah.
I believe.
With committee and operations team. I did those edits that were recommended by the committee at the last forum.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to let you guys know about the intranet, or the council has an internal system called the intranet, and it's so that we can all learn what everybody's role and job is within council, but it's also a way to break down any silos, because often you'll have a kaupapa in council and planning and building might have something to do it, but then it comes across this side, but everybody's doing it in isolation of each other, or has some things being in isolation of each other, whereas this will break that down, and we can, like at the moment we're doing a kaupapa out castle at Palliser Bay. And so far, we've got legal exec involved, we've got the roading involved, we've got emergency services involved. I'm in that space, and the CE's in that space. We'll probably end up bringing in our grants manager as well, and we'll probably, there was another one too. But it just seemed like that one kaupapa actually touches on all these different things around council, and we've been all sitting around the same table, really putting ideas on the table, thrashing it out and trying to get the best solution. Especially in the space of Māori, to deliver for Māori or deliver for council and serve Māori. Yeah, it's been really good stuff to, be a part of. I enjoy that. Yeah. Waitangi Day funding application. We did do the application. We did a couple of online market Lena. And anyway, got the application finished and she submitted it. So we should know, I think, about the first week of November, whether we've got some funding secured to be able to deliver something for Waitangi. Yeah.
And who's coordinating the kind of program for that time, should we be successful?
There'll be parts that each town or each marae will do.
Yeah.
Well, each town, because we were thinking of doing hikoi, and in which case we'll probably ask Jane and her to be a part of it. And we thought one of the other walks would be quite good to do a foraging one for kai, which might be maybe up the back of Ōtauira Stream.
Oh yeah.
In the hills there, for watercress maybe. And
so who's coordinating that?
It'd be Māori Standing Committee.
Kia ora, thank you.
Oh, just said it, hinaki, bro.
Sorry, Mark.
An opportunity to discussions around the ward.
Yes.
That's right. Yeah.
Education side of that, so that we're fronting it.
Cultural special monitoring and
yeah. Kapai.
Yeah.
All right. So that's a meeting date with action around it. So that will be exciting. Thank you for that. So just before we hear your next paper, Narita, can I get
so just before I move off that report, I've put Ngāti Hikawera provisos.
Oh yeah.
I just wanted to touch on them now while we've been talking about it quite a lot recently. Ngāti Hikawera, we did our gifting, so it's probably an opportune time to have a session.
Just one thing on the Waitangi, so would we put together marae-wise and coordinate something for everyone to do together, or would we be looking at what this marae is going to do and that marae is going to do and sort of?
I think we looked at one centred event, but activities in each town over the. But then one central event to be anywhere
to bring it all together,
wherever you guys want to have it. And we were thinking be a bonfire, possibly some climate making bread.
I saw that in the app. I thought it was a lovely app.
Yeah, it's right at that time.
So.
Okay, I'm just noting our time, 7:39. Probably if you can just give some context, because I do think this is worth having a lot more thought over it.
Yep.
And especially for those online that haven't got this. But if you can just give us some context that we could take away.
Yeah.
So in 2018, when the Waihinga Centre was opened, the name Waihinga got socialised, and this was going to be named the Waihinga Centre. dear Teresa Aporo, one night at our Māori Standing Committee meeting, she was completely upset about that. And we said, what happened? What's happened? And she said, they've taken our name and they haven't even asked for it. So that's when it all came out, you know, that Waihinga belongs to Ngāti Hikawera. And so we had to literally, we only had 10 days before this was being opened under that name with the procedure that they were planning. And so we had to have some pretty quick talking with the council to say, you can't do that without Ngāti Hikawera on board. And so this is what came out of that is they, you know, basically Matua Rangi said, you can have that name, you can only borrow it. You're borrowing that name. And these were the list of provisos. They wanted other provisos for the, you know, as a condition of having the name. So just wanted to get that conversation going because it some of these things have been done and they were done back in the day, and there's other things to still be done. And I guess it's just up to Ngāti Hikawera what might be the priority for you guys. What?
So the highlighted ones, the ones that have been done, or
the highlighted ones are the ones that have been done.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
yeah. I think the bigger ones are the Po and the Mere.
Yeah.
Which I believe will have to come from Aratoi.
Aratoi.
Which will be, you know, whenever Ngāti Hikawera are ready to do that part of your journey. And then, you know, this side, these guys can accommodate it, you know.
I've just asked Violet to take this away, to be able to take it to the whānau, to have more conversations, and Dottie may be able to support you in that, Violet. And any of the other whānau of Ngāti Hikawera, Ahuros.
Yeah, sure. Because I did say to Tina when we were here at the gifting that there's some things that we're going to be winning from them to show that Ngāti Hikawera are still here.
Yeah.
So yeah, because they've got a lot of, they've got carvers, they've got toi Māori artists and stuff like that. So, and weavers. So
yeah,
they may be able to.
Are you happy to pick up that?
Yeah, I'll go see them.
Okay. Whenever you're ready, and
at the back of me, I'll go see them.
Yeah. Whatever that looks like on our side.
And have a good read,
yeah.
Everyone. That will be one of our major agenda items in our next hui.
Yeah.
Yep. But thank you, Violet, for picking up that rākau.
Yeah, that's
Councillor Bosley.
Probably seems like a really ignorant question, but why hinga and why hinga? The I and the E, is there? Have I seen that?
one was Waihinga is a place name and Waihinga is a tupuna name.
Yeah.
Right, okay.
Yeah, they're two different things.
Right.
Yeah. So that's
Specific to you.
Waihinga belongs to them.
What?
Well, actually, than Waihinga, but
It's just that
Waihinga was for the place, but Waihinga was still very much a tupuna name.
Yeah.
Ngāti Hikawera.
Waihinga is the one that
belongs
to
to
go.
Yeah.
So that's the one that is for this.
Yes. Yes.
Waihinga.
Waihinga.
That was
Yeah.
the I.
With the eye.
Do I have a mover to receive the updates from the Po Māori report?
Right.
Yep, Violet, thank you. Seconder. Thank you, Mark. Those in favour, please say aye. Raise your hand online. Any against? Kapai, thank you, Leonie. Thank you, Dottie. All those against, please say Carl. The motion is carried. And the next paper is around this unspent funds. Over to you, Narita, on 10.3.
Yeah, so at the forum, they put a report in listed the unspent funds from the 2018-2019 budget, and pretty much felt like I didn't give enough information. So I went back in, dug it all out, and hopefully, if everybody's had a chance to read it, but that funding was to support the, we've got it here. It was originally back in 20th of February 2019, Council support and fund policy researcher to review the Māori Standing Committee terms of reference Māori policy and to provide advice to Māori specific clauses for inclusion in the standing orders. That Council also asked for a report that was provided that day. council had time already to review it and then made a resolution to receive the collaborative proposal to transform the Māori policy report. And then number 2, to council to approve the use of the total budget outlined in that proposal. And the last one, to authorise the Māori Standing Committee to start the process of engagement with Tahi Toka Limited. Unfortunately, the work just never got done. I still don't know why, but it just never happened. So in my background, I've talked about that we did try to, we withdrew the contract from Tahi Toka and to seek another provider. We engaging well, and we just didn't formalise that engagement properly within a timely manner, and we lost the opportunity. And then we tried to seek other providers, but just couldn't quite nail it. The CEO of the time just said, let's just leave it there and wait till you find what you're looking for, basically, something to of the same intent. And so that's what happened. It just sat there since 2019. Yeah. Now, the work that I want to do with council is, I think, transformative for Māori within local government. It's what, a couple of things to happen. It's to ensure a pathway for our rangatahi, our next generation. I'm very aware that we're not far off from having our young educated Māori coming through, steeped in tikanga Māori, fluent in te reo Māori. We want them to participate at local government, so we need to be an organisation that is ready for them, that we can manaaki them, we can kaitiaki them, we can awhi them. So
We've got an example with Hirewini,
yeah, absolutely.
having done the Turia
Yeah, he has.
Ananga through the council, and now wanting to contribute around the table. So here's an example of that generation coming through. And our current applicant, what's his name? Tutawa? Yeah,
Tutawa, aye.
He's looking for work. He's just finished his degree at uni. He's looking for mahi, by the way. Something.
I think that the Mayor's task force for jobs should constantly start.
He's already asked the Mayor. He's already asked.
Yeah. No, but I mean like councils should looking at apprenticeship for our youth.
Yes, good point.
Legacy.
Yeah, it's my personal, that's not me as a councillor.
It'd be great to have a youth council.
One of the things that I want to do with that pūtea is actually to engage with someone to do some motifs for us of Māori and nature, because we don't have those at council. We don't have any designs that are ours that represent Māori or represent the whenua. We haven't got anything that.
Karaoke.
We've got, so I'd use it in the branding with council. These would be items that would be used throughout branding, long-term plan, etc., etc. The other thing I want to do is definitely need to facilitate a workshop with our senior leadership team as well as managers on what Māori engagement framework and stuff can look like. And there's a crowd. I saw Kahununu have used them before, and they're called live illustrations. I don't know if anyone's had a chance to have a look at. Yeah, they're mean. They're really good, and they're really good at articulating Māori in their animation and the journey. But that's the key thing, right? It's our journey within this organisation of council, and how do we get from A to B, and what do we look like as we go? What are the questions? What are the things that are our so I really want to utilise that.
Yeah.
They've sent me a quote. It'd be about $3,600. Yeah. And then I want to do some also some engagement with Scott Summerfield, and he's policy writer. He's treaty analysis and building bicultural organisations. Really good guy. He's done a bit of stuff with us before, and I'd like to engage with him again to help formulate some of the writing for the Māori policy. And then the other part is engagement with Mana Whenua and Māori Standing Committee for the development and guidance of narrative appropriate to use for the development of the Māori strategy. And I've really taken that from the examples that Porirua City Council have, as well as Wellington City Council with the Tupiki Ora wellbeing strategy. Beautiful. Again, it's that narrative. So theirs is done on Hupe, coming into Wellington Harbour with the Haumaru. So the Haumaru is broken down into all of those names and parts, and then all of that aligns with wellbeing, within your community. And it's that. And I know that we can do that for here too, because I know we've got lots of pūrākau that really speak to how our people got here. How did we come to be where we are? So I really want to investigate that and really deep dive into that kind of whakaaro and come out with something really strong and embedded into the fabric of the organisation.
Thank you, Nerida. That was one of my questions, was around costings. You know, like you've put down in your recommendations, picking up that mahi from the past and finishing that off and bringing these things alive. That's exciting. So I just wanted to know, actually, did the 15-16 cover?
Well, I know it'll cover Scott, and it'll probably cover the designer to create motifs. Some of the work from Scott, I've actually put some extra funding into the long-term plan. So, whatever I get left over, I'll buy that worth of Scott Summerfield and then use the rest from the long-term plan.
Okay, so you've got a plan. It'll be really good to get a breakdown of the costs of that.
Okay, I'll get rid of it.
Because we do want to support that mahi being finished. Any other questions? Any other questions online? Discussions anybody or yes, the only. Right, can I have a mover to accept recommendation option 1 to approve funds to be reallocated to council operations for Po Māori approved projects? Thank you, Karen. Can I have a seconder? Thank you, Violet. All those in favour, please say aye.
Aye.
Any against, say Carl.
Aye.
The motion is carried. Kia ora, thank you. The next one is just noting. I'll get a mover to receive the 2025 meeting schedule of ordinary meetings report. So our first one is in January, and then of course we have the forums.
What page is that, please?
Page 61. These are all our meetings for next year. So it's the same schedule, really, as what we had this year.
Meetings.
Yeah. 4 formal meetings and 4 forums. Yes.
The dates for the 4 forums?
Yes.
4 forums.
Been good to have us.
They're on the schedule.
They're not on the schedule because they're not official.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
No, they're not official.
No, Cardians.
Yeah. Put them down.
We will get Robin to let us out the schedule for next year, including our forums. You can just send it out to us.
Forums are in between as usual.
But just
Into a
dates.
bit, I will send out all of them.
Official. So,
You're going to send out the meeting invites. But can I thank you, Robin? Can I have a mover? So
Yeah, I'll move it.
meeting. Well, thank you, Violet.
It's officially been moved.
And a seconder. Thank you, Jane, please. All those in favour, please say aye.
aye.
Any against, please say Carl. Motion is carried. Do I have a mover to approve the delegation to the Chief Executive the authority to alter the schedule of ordinary meetings following consultation?
And through your chair, we can do all three at once.
That's included in what we just did?
You want to do? Yep.
Yep. So we don't have to do that. That's good. Include that. That's just authority to alter the schedule for next year. Oh, now 10.5, it's got grant report.
So through your chair, this is the grant report. You can address all 6 grants this time.
Can you refresh us with the whole 6 so we know that we've got them all?
Okay.
And I don't have to do the whole lot
Oh, the sun's here.
singly.
Do them separately if you wish to, or agree and then do all group.
Do a group 1 because it's 5 to 8.
Okay.
Do I have a mover to receive the grant report? Thank you, Councillor Maynard. Did you put that down, Robin? Maynard.
Yep.
Seconder, you, Mark.
So let's confirm that what we're passing here is for
This is,
recommendations as written now or amended following our discussions
this is just to receive.
just to receive. We're
Yeah.
not to.
Haven't got to that bit yet. All those in favour, please say aye.
Aye.
Any against? Say Carl. Motion is carried.
No.
I did,
No, I didn't.
sorry, councillor Maynard.
No, I did not mean to do that. Sorry.
5 to 8.
I was just copying it.
Motion is carried. Now, let's have a look at the, we've got the Māori Sports Awards, so that was for $300.
I'd like some, yep. Yeah, I think.
So are we happy with that?
Yeah.
Any against? Any against? Kapai, you're good with $300? All right, I'll just tick that off.
Sounds like a bargain.
Now, this is Kahutara School was,
One. Okay.
yes, it was. It was for 4,800.
Has that already happened, did you say?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, that's good.
That's for me, fleeting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not
For
retrospective.
her, for her.
For Kahutara School, but
Good.
for Lee's program.
Her time underneath.
Because this isn't under her other money, is it?
No.
No, this has got nothing to do with the marae. This is her teaching job. She's a teacher qualified.
Yeah, and not what the other.
Yeah.
job is done.
No,
But through your
I would either.
Yeah.
confirmation of which grant is coming in.
So I'm looking at that. So the first one for the whai order would be Tautoko. If we can have that, that's under that code, the $300. Now we're looking at, Lee is going to be teaching them about, what was it again?
What?
Apparently she's teaching them rangitane waiata.
This is holistic. It's got physical, social, psychological, spiritual.
Because she'll do Maurako, all of that stuff.
Yeah, noho marae.
Yeah.
So this is around,
So they come to the marae and she teaches them all about the tukutuku,
yeah,
all of those, and the carvings, yeah.
That's Koinui.
Yeah,
under,
and then, yeah,
yes, I was thinking whakapapa, that po.
yeah, we've adopted those up, so Kahutara, Paitu Mokai, and Perino come under Kohinui.
Oh, no.
Yeah,
And for how many sessions?
I think she said 12, eh?
It's, well, I think it's at 10, it's under 20 an hour or something, isn't it? 10 sessions.
Yeah,
It's 120 per session.
20 per session.
yeah. And
Yeah,
because that school's part of our Enviro schools, so they also go over to our nursery and get
Oh, yeah.
about those.
Nice.
and it's
Covers,
also,
So,
it's a proper holistic.
yeah,
Awesome.
and then it goes from term 4 this year until term 4 next year. For the next year, so
That covers the whole year. But,
the whole year.
yeah, that's awesome.
Okay, so what do we think about 4.8? I'm looking at whakapapa.
Mhm.
And
that is pretty much whakapapa o te whenua, the awa. Yeah,
any thoughts on the amount we can contribute to that?
We moved on and I'll thank you.
So you talk to those about whakapapa, how do you mean? To around this table,
We've got different.
directly in terms of the program itself.
The
Well, the-
program, we're looking at the PO,
Yeah.
the finances,
funding,
right?
samero.
And when looking at the program,
Yeah.
it talks about, I'm saying it comes under that whakapapa
Gotcha.
PO
Okay,
because of the whakapapa of the waiata, of the maurako, of,
so I believe to fuck around the table, sorry.
yeah. No, it's about the program
Yeah, sure, good.
that's there
Yeah,
to
so
align.
it'd be a whakapapa of a lot of things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And even tile.
And she teaches them waiata and they do a little bit of kapahaka too,
Yeah, that's nice.
normally in her programs.
Do we really amount or?
That's what
I
I'm,
reckon full amount. We have a healthy budget. We roll over more money than I thought we had.
doing.
Yeah. Like, really?
Recommendations, the full, aren't they?
Yes,
Yeah.
Put them out there.
okay.
Yeah.
We'll go for the full amount. Social, economic, cultural is what. No environmental ticked on that, so that's ka pai. So full amount for 4.8 to come out of the whakapapa budget for that, right? Okay, the next one is Kohanui Marae, and that is,
They got part of the funding for this from really wellbeing.
How much is left?
Union.
Just about.
Yeah.
3,045 is correct.
So we got the kitchen to rebuild. It was just for the door to go between, you know, where those two doors like that are.
Yeah.
And the first goes and put a container door in instead.
Oh, yeah.
so we can,
Main hall.
Yes.
Between
Between,
Waiwata,
Marae Wawata.
Oh, behind that,
yeah, you know, where that big, you walk out of the dining room?
Yep.
Yeah, so the door will go there. Place those horrible doors that keep.
you approve the full amount requested, 3,045,
Aye.
okay. So we're on to the grants from our community wellbeing funds that have been put forward. So I'm going to the YT project poster presented. Now, let's be sure about how much.
And I got confused when he talked about pledging. I was like, what, who's pledging and get their name on stuff? And
There's an opportunity here though for you to put like on the sleeve or somewhere.
Yeah,
With the support.
you're just adding our logo to the bottom of
Yeah. Posters.
that printed.
the Māori Standing.
Understanding?
there's a lot of tikanga in that, bro.
Right.
Yeah, my point of view.
Sorry, what was that?
There's a lot of tikanga around that.
Put in a tohu there.
Yeah,
A contribution.
because reality, it's got the vermin fish as well as our native.
And I would have, as a conversation starter, the toy relationship would have been a good one to have incorporated into that.
Yeah, can't hear you, John, there.
That's it was. But, you know, maybe
They are here.
if we were ground floored in that poster design, then it would be completely different
Yeah,
to what's done and just help us play with the printing.
And I did notice as well, so I understand that this is for Aotearoa, it's not for South Wairarapa.
Yeah. For us.
It's for Aotearoa, so this is to get the posters done.
So they
Around
can
the round. And this is the part
So
around the Wairarapa store.
starts here and then goes.
Yeah.
goes nationally and ends up in the fish and chip shops.
He had the, but he said that they were the national freshwater, like fish from around. The only reason I'm bringing that up is just because I'm just wondering. Yeah, they are. There's
No, and Niwa has,
some species that yeah, that
Yeah, well,
don't have as much explanation, I guess, but that's only due to.
Okay, the decision is, do we want to put any putia towards that?
It's just, there's a risk there as well. If it ends up at, you know, Waikato Tainui and they go, oh yeah, those fellas down there.
yeah.
I think they know.
Especially if they want to send it nationally.
Yeah.
Yeah,
look at, and not a lot of those fish are found nationally.
yeah. Yeah, so
Yes or no?
that's the poster,
No.
right?
Well, I guess the option is that he could go to Tainui when he goes into Waikato, he could go to them and go,
Put yours in.
put yours here.
Yeah.
True. Go and get like, you know.
Get another lot of funding.
So it becomes, he can hold that regional.
Yeah.
Pop up there.
Because I almost feel like I wouldn't mind doing it for the schools down here, but I don't want to do this, you know, like when you're talking about 75 schools, I was like, what? Yeah.
So when,
We don't have 25 schools.
Sorry, yeah, I was
when
getting,
you're looking at.
I think he meant
Is that,
25,000 was the amount.
it's basically unique to just our area, or, because that was sort of nationally out.
It's national, really in general.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah, it was a generic, I know.
It was a national thing, wasn't it?
and there's none of our design on there or,
Yeah.
So,
you know, wouldn't want to be nice to have a
Yeah,
pasaki
Yeah.
Yeah.
from
Yeah.
where that incorporates it.
Okay, yes or no? No?
Or
You go partial.
Yes, you can go.
When you consider that, there's probably a lot of that sort of resource that already exists.
Yeah, that's why I asked Mark about what posters Niwa had.
Okay, I'm
They
hearing,
do that
no.
job.
I'm hearing no for that. Anyone?
come back.
Can I explain that? So for our wānanga, I bought, part of the organisation I work for is, Tika Waha, who do, deep research, pamphlets about kake, pamphlets about inanga, and it's all in a Māori kaupapa. I think that's something we should.
Be supporting. Okay, so it's just not hitting the mark on actually.
Purely,
What we would like
tunga o
to-
te wairarapa.
Okay, I'm hearing a no there, sorry.
If it had wairarapa moana on it, or te kare.
Put it
Yeah.
I'll give them some.
in, community garden.
Not sure about that.
Any garden or is it your
I
garden?
think it's good. It's just
Pai te moka o te pera
I think because this is just a marakai, so I'm like, well, not just. It's amazing, but I would rather that she funded somewhere else to get to hold courses and things like that because,
Great.
I think we can just, so maybe it's like a 3.
We already got our gardens planted out there.
Yeah.
The primitives already in the ground and the
Yeah,
starts
Collaborating.
Yeah, because
in the ground.
hers is more just with the, but I like to concept as well, she's obviously really got the buy-in with like some of the mama and little ones and stuff like that, and I just think the more.
I've got a tunnel house. She was after a tunnel house and we bought a tunnel house and it blew over. So we got the frame. And I was thinking I might be able to gift that to her with a carpenter that can join again the both ends. So.
And it's out Pere Noa. Our tunnel house only survived because of the hill in front of it. It would have blown away otherwise.
Yeah.
I mean, big ones here.
It's a bit of a problem with paying for infrastructure. And,
Is it a Pākehā organisation looking for some money?
and, she's a business as well. Why can't her business pop up? If this is the extension to her business.
Question about
Yeah,
her association with
Or
Bagmont,
charge them to use.
Yeah,
right? There's a commercial aspect of those 2 boxes go to subscription model.
Yeah. So.
but I think.
You sign up for, you pay, you get.
But I just find it really interesting that she's actually come here first, but prior to actually going to Kauai.
No,
No, she was
Well, she
referred,
had.
she was referred to.
The bench.
yeah, she referred us.
No, but I mean, just even at all, have you seen,
Us.
have you seen her? Has she been involved?
she's,
No.
no.
Or gone there?
But she's been for a while, little farm.
Yeah, but
Hey, sorry, Karen?
it lives up with me now.
Some of the vegetables that get grown, are they going to be given to the food bank?
Or the commercial.
Well, just going to be.
Yeah.
She talked about working with Fielder who does food.
Oh,
Yeah.
they've got a program,
Mm.
By order, they distribute the food now out to Social Crust, there's some food bank.
It already does.
Oh, okay, so local people will.
And they have a thing out the front.
Central point, then they do the distribution out to those
Mm.
other food banks.
Is there a food bank in Piranor?
So
Martinborough.
so they, some come Martinborough and some come Featherton, depending on where they.
Yeah, Martinborough.
Yeah.
Food bank.
So I'm hearing a
But
no.
again, it still comes under that file order, and that's exactly where she, like half of her links.
I just think she should find another way to, support infrastructure. She's a business as well.
But perhaps that's how we approach it, that you've got one that you could gift. So although we turn this down,
And,
we've got a tunnel house there.
Okay, we'll say no for that. Okay,
Yes.
going to Paitu Mokai or Tauira, developing the potting shed.
Right,
No, it's 3K, isn't it?
I think it's a good one.
I think it's a good one.
Yeah,
That's
because she's doing.
I think because she's already given you plants.
okay.
Is that obvious?
Excuse me.
Talk to the bosses.
Potamoko grant.
Yes, that would come out of tile, would it?
To tie out.
The tile. Perfect. Okay. Can I, now to wrap all that up, so Robin, can you feed back to us what we've approved and what we haven't?
And second, please. Get my spelling correct. Okay, so the easiest that we're not, so you've decided against the Waiti educational poster.
Yeah.
And the Pinedoa Community Garden.
Yeah.
So those are out. So we've got the application from Whaiora Whānui Trust for $300 for the Māori Sports Awards. 4,800 supporting Kotara School for their Te Puna Waiora program. Yeah. Whakapapa Fund. The Kuhanui Marae, $3,045 to complete the construction of the partition.
Yep.
Marae.
11,045.
It was. And to $3,000 to Port Mokai for extending their potential development. And that is
Man, that's what I've got.
11,145.
Oh, thank you. Have we've
That's
passed
a lot of work.
those?
So those are agreed, just need to finish the resolution.
Thank you. Do I have a person to move? Thank you, Mark. A seconder? Anyone online want to second that? Thank you, Leonie. All in favour, please say aye.
Aye.
All against, please say aye. Motion is carried. Thank you. We've got two last items and I want to do that before anything else. And that is the grant accountability report. Do I have a mover to receive the grant accountability report? Thank you, Karen. Seconder, thank you, Pat. All those in favour, please say aye.
Aye.
Those against, say Kyle. The motion is carried. So for that agenda item, we've got a list of those that haven't provided a report back.
So through your chair, this is a new endeavour. I'm trying to track all of our accountability reports, which come through at random moments, at random times.
I'll get one from.
Having done this now for 2 meetings, I think I'm going to completely change it next year. So sorry about that. So basically it's a list of all the grants that you've approved. And as we get the reports in, we'll put minutes to it, show them as an attachment, review them, and we'll just keep going. So that's why it's an information report, because there's no requirement to accept, to have a decision room to accept it.
Okay, thank you. So Robin, that was my question, who is chasing up these reports, and that's you. So we'll be counting on you to chase those up. We have had Roisin Hooper come in person online and report back. So
if you're happy with that, then
if you can note when she did that, please, and put that down.
And Georgia was coming back. We've just been waiting. Remember, you were going to get in touch with her whenever the next meeting was.
Oh,
And she was going to come.
true, because Zaya should do it at the same time.
Yeah.
That'd be good.
All right.
Good online though.
Confused with the due 2025.
Don't want her to take a day off work.
That really confused me. Like,
When the report,
Oh, that's when they're,
so they've got another like 6 months. So that's after. Okay.
yeah, we'll just chase up these ones.
Yeah, but they want to come. They want to come and do it as soon as possible.
Sure.
They just need to have the
Be booked in.
yeah. So
Yeah.
it's a communication. I'm sure Haureki Marae for theirs will do it straight away.
Yeah, the mattresses.
Susan, a day, I'll just tell the Zaya and she'll come online.
Okay, so just for noting, income and expenditure report, do I have a mover? Receive that report, yes, councillor Boxley, seconder, thank you. Those in favour, please say aye. All those against say Kyle. The motion is carried. Oh,
Could I just get a bit of clarity on it? So when something's approved, so there's a stipulation in there that says
Come back.
it must be reported back?
It was like a reflection on
Oh, yeah.
how it's gone, you know, how it's working for you or whatever you've gotten the money for.
yeah, but
you see there's two timely requirements, which makes things difficult. One is the project, the 3 months after your project's finished, you need to report back. The other one is a year after you receive the funding, depending on the type of funding you receive. Operational So it's a longer time period,
Oh, yeah.
a project based or event based, so that's a shorter time period.
Thank you.
So I think the more like grant ones, we can follow up it because we have the dates of when they were needing the putia, so we can actually follow up, pretty much send the letter out, get, and they'll present. Just let them know and then the contact.
Those accountability reports go out with the grant letters, so they have.
Oh, no, I'm talking about like Georgia May and like, yeah.
Okay, so we'll keep Robin on her toes around that.
And pretty.
Now we've got a list.
Yes, as soon as I
Um,
get her to do that.
I think that's enough
Go pick her up.
tonight. Thank you for your attention and participation in our meeting tonight.
Well done.
If we can close all those online as well, with our karakia together. Ko mutu a mātou mahi, mo tēnei wā, manakitia mai a katoa. O mātou koa, o mātou kāna. Umi huie.
Hi, yeah.
Thank you. Amazing. So.
Getting it sorted out was all good.
This, and this all handed